we've got two new players, obviously, it's no big secret. Callan Elliot, a young Kiwi, always said that I wanted to sign him, and you finally got one, okay. But he's a good kid who's come through the ranks and worked extremely hard, has been with us for a while, training with us. We fill a number of roles within the playing squad and on the training pitch as well, so that's important. But I've really liked his enthusiasm and his desire to learn and improve. So he fills our last under 20 spot that we've got. Paul Eiffel has worked with him and made him aware, or made me aware of his talent quite early in the piece as well. So he's worked hard for it and he's got it. And he was ecstatic when I gave him a call. Weren't you, Callan?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't. He was just one of those. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. But that's the sort of guy he is, you know. And I think he's really. Like I said, he's got the confidence of the players as well, and he's got a really good head on his shoulders and a bright future for Callan. Reuben has been in a very successful environment at Heidelberg for a number of years, so he understands what success means. He's a bit more experienced. We're looking for cover on the left-hand side as well, and as you know, it's not easy to find. But he came in and his attitude has been phenomenal. We've got a lot of contacts of mine. Back in Australia, told me a lot of positive things about him, and I'm a believer in the NPL of the players and the talent that they've got over there. This club has always given opportunities to NPL players, and I'm sitting here, obviously having coached in the NPL, being given an opportunity myself. So I understand, the quality of players, and Reuben's been one of the best for a number of years in that position as well. So he's come in. Off the back of a pretty short turnaround, we gave him a call. He wasn't hesitant in coming over and playing in an internal game on Saturday where he impressed the whole coaching staff and the players as well, and we look forward obviously to having not just Reuben but Callan at our football club.
Go on, Ollie, you want to start?
Sure thing. First of all, what excites you about moving through into this under 20 spot in the Phoenix, and what are you looking to bring that can help this side be successful?
Well, being part of a professional club's always been a dream of mine, so to finally sign that first contract, I'm very excited, and I'll do anything I can to make a positive impact with the team on the pitch and also off the pitch.
Was it a little bit of a pinch yourself moment when you did first sign on the dotted line?
Yeah, like with the phone call, I may not have seemed excited at the time, but I was afterwards. Yeah, I was very excited.
You've been here for a while, so were you getting good messages from Mark and the others about the possibility of eventually getting a contract?
Yeah, well, I was just getting continuously told what I need to work on and what I need to do to get that contract, so I just did everything I could to try and get it.
I mean, we've seen a fair few trialists come and go, not quite fit into the system. So was there an element of nervousness that maybe you thought you were expendable at the end of the day?
I didn't really think about that too much. I just worked as hard as I could personally, and then if that wasn't enough, then it wasn't enough, but it was, and yeah.
I suppose, Mark, following on from that, you touched on his willingness to learn, but what was it maybe extra that set him apart from those trialists that didn't quite click with what you were after?
His work ethic. He's one of the best trainers. He covers a lot of distance, so in terms of us being a hard-working side, he ticks that box. He's also very versatile. We put him in a number of different positions. And we had a chat in Sydney and a personal chat about what his best position is. And he's a smart kid because he was smart enough to understand that the one position that we needed to fill, he actually mentioned, right? So I thought, okay, he's got some smarts about him. He could have mentioned any position, but he was pretty clear on one certain position, which is the right-hand side. Okay, is where I want him to concentrate more on. But like I said, we use him as a 10. He started against the Western Sydney Wanderers on the left-hand side as well because he makes some really good third-man runs. So he's a smart footballer. He needs to be more consistent, in his performances, and I think that's something that he understands, and we drive him and everybody else the same way. But as a young kid, like I said, there's a lot of inconsistencies a lot of the time. But with Callan, like I said, he's got a very smart and good head on his shoulders who can play a number of different positions, so I can trust him in different areas. But I wanted to concentrate on one in particular. I think going forward it's going to be important for his career. Speaking to Paul Eiffel as well, he's played him in a multitude of areas. I think for him personally though, and for his own development, it's important to just focus on one or two and be the best he can be.
Reuben, different for you, obviously. I mean, you've only just arrived. Welcome to Wellington, by the way. Was it a difficult decision at all to make the trip across?
No. I'm involved in finance back home. Semi-professional, you got to work. So it was a strange phone call, as I was actually expecting the conversation to go in a different direction.
Did you think he was going to buy a house or something?
No. Yeah. No, it wasn't him. It was one of his mates, and I've got a mate who knows him as well. And I thought there was a bit of banter going on. So when he actually said, "Look, you got to go over to Wellington. There's an opportunity here." Being in finance, I can be in finance up until I'm 70. I can't play professional football. Bit different for him. He's a lot younger. I was actually a youth league 10 years ago. Almost exactly 10 years ago, I was catching a train from Brisbane to Gold Coast. So, yeah, it was a sharp turnaround, but I guess it was a dormant dream. His was current, mine was dormant. Just come up out of nowhere.
So did you think that you'd reached the point where the phone call wasn't going to come, that the dream would remain dormant for forever?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I got over that breakup. Done, dusted. Just came back.
So what are your feelings today then? I mean, you now have got it 5 years after you thought it was all gone.
Yeah, true. But I'm ecstatic as well, just as much as he is, and I guess anyone else would. But I know what I want to get out of this, and I know how big that hill is. So, I started a business 5 years ago, and I realised, as a director, what I've got to do. I've got to be committed. I've got to be motivated. I've got to make compromises, and that was a big hill for me to climb as well. So just as I started to get over that hill, I'm over here now, and I've got another hill probably steeper. So I'm wary of what I can do and how much work that's going to take, and I'm quite excited about it.
So left-sided midfielder, is that where you've been playing for Heidelberg? Is that your preferred position?
I used to play right wing, and then I was either side of the wings. It was actually probably about 10 years ago when I was in youth league. The coach at the time, Mulvey, chucked me back left back, and I just seemed to have a knack of being able to do it and being able to contribute going forward as well as primarily defensively. And I seem to never let that go.
Callan, you've obviously been working with Paul for a number of years. Is it pretty cool just knowing that this is the club that you're going to be starting your professional career?
Yeah, it's a very special feeling, to be honest. Watching Eiffel play back in the day and then playing for the team he used to play for.
Yeah, because was it obviously have you spoken to him about, did he say congratulations? No?
Yeah, he was very excited. Yeah.
And when did this kind of come on your radar in terms of playing, I guess training with the Phoenix, because you were looking at maybe going overseas a few months ago?
Yeah, well, it was at the start of pre-season. I got a phone call from Paul saying that the Phoenix wanted me to come in and train just to see how it was, and then just ever since that I've just been with them over pre-season.
Yeah, because this must be like a week you've probably been dreaming about for a long time.
Yeah, it has been,
football.
Yeah, big dream of mine.
Yeah, and was it like even a big move just to follow Paul? Like obviously you've been in Masterton for a few years now, and what was the reason for wanting to kind of get out on Alps and follow that?
Yeah, it was a big move, leaving my friends and family, but one of the main reasons was to be the best I could be and become a professional footballer and play for the national team. So that was the two main reasons I moved to Masterton with Paul from this.
Yeah, for sure. And Mark, Callan's still going to be young enough to play for the reserve team if he needs to, but do you see him as being ready for the A-League then?
Not yet. He still has a way to go and improve and develop as well, and I think he understands that too. I do want to improve, his Kiwi accent, because I had no idea where he came from. And we spoke about that, and he told me about his Scottish heritage, and I said, mate, get rid of it because he's been here for long enough, by now. But like I said, he's a good boy. Round one, like I said, I think he understands, and he's smart enough to understand where he's at. But the academy's not there just for Callum. It's there for, I mean, it's quite clear. We've got a full squad now that if you're not in the first team squad, you know, I expect the attitude and the performance to be one that is professional and one that's worthy of wearing that Wellington Phoenix jersey. So, you know, they've got obviously a job to do, being a senior player, playing with the academy squad. Every week there'll be senior players playing there as well. They need the game time and they're there to help the younger players out, you know, to lead and obviously perform week in, week out. So, you know, we're lucky that Callan can play in both areas, but he needs a bit more time to, and you know, he'll put his hand up every week for selection, but like I said, he needs to improve in certain areas to get to A-League level, but it's not too far away.
And is the squad complete now, you know, following these two signings, or are you still looking?
No, still looking. Yeah, we're still looking. I mean, yeah, we've got money up our sleeve, and like I said, sometimes signings come off, sometimes they don't. And I said this a couple of weeks ago, I'm very happy with where we're at with the squad, particularly now with the additions of Reuben and Callan. His name's Callan, so instead of saying this guy, which you've mentioned a few times, it's that's his name. But he's only been here for a couple of days, Reuben, so far, so he's got a bit of time to get used to the name of the players. Right, but we're happy, okay. But we are still looking to you know, improve our squad. That goes without saying.
Yeah, because I understand you might have a few more players still training with the team. Are they guys that are likely to be
Who's that?
running for contracts?
Who's that?
Is it Gianni and Taki?
Yeah, they'll be. Yeah. So we've well, they're in our academy team, but they're young Australians who, you know, I want to improve our academy team as well. It's not just about this team, it's about the youngsters coming through and making sure that we are in a good position and we're proactive in looking forward. So we've got two young guys who have got really good information about back home. They've put their hand up, and you know, two guys that represent Australia at young at youth level still are in the mix, who have put their hand up, and they've got, you know, Kiwi blood in them as well, which is always good. But I'm looking for the attitude of the players, and look, they've got an opportunity like the rest of them. They come in on Thursday, they'll be here on Friday morning in my office to have a good chat about what this football club's about. So the young ones I'm really keen on, really keen on, and it's important that we are proactive in that department as well.
Yeah, because it's like a unique step, I guess, bringing some Australians into the academy. What was the kind of reason for doing that and not exclusively looking at Kiwis?
No, it's not about Kiwis or Aussies. It's about the conversations I had with Paul Temple. He was happy with, you know, the players that he had at his disposal. He always wants to improve and get better, and by being able to bring in a couple of guys from over there who he thinks are better than what he's got at the moment, then so be it. You know, I don't discriminate. You know, it's just that if there's a chance and an ability to bring him over, why not? And they both have spoken about, you know, the opportunities of representing New Zealand as well, because they've got that lineage in their blood. So that's a bonus. I think it works both ways. So I wouldn't call them Australian as such completely. Like I said, they've got a New Zealand passport, the ability to get a New Zealand passport themselves. So it's about strengthening and improving, you know. And we've always and we will always keep our door open for New Zealand talent, but they've got to want to be part of this football club as well. And I understand the reasons why at times. In the past, perhaps the perceptions of this club haven't been the best, but we're working extremely hard to change that and make sure that the young players open that door and want to play for this football club.
And in terms of like the young Kiwis, obviously you've signed one here. So what set Callan apart from, say, the other kind of pool of Kiwi players that age?
Look, his age is one. You know, we knew that we had to sign a young one, and I really wanted to give it, you know, to a Kiwi. So that was one. But just his willingness and desire in his work ethic, and he's a quick learner. He takes on messages and he adapts very quickly, which is an important thing for me as a coach. You know, some of the other ones, particularly the ones early on who came in, you know, we kept repeating the same messages, and it was a bit more difficult, whereas Callan was very quick in his learning.
Reuben, just to give you a chance to land a shot back at the coach, how controversial is it for an Australian to cheer on the Kiwis and the Silver Ferns? And will you be cheering on the Silver Ferns tomorrow night?
Well, they're playing, are they?
He probably has no idea what you're talking about.
I'm actually from Queensland, and I used to be a PE teacher before the whole business thing. So in Queensland, rugby union's massive, particularly in the private schools. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about getting a tattoo this year. Might be a firm on the back. I don't know. But yeah, no.
He's got a phoenix tattooed, by the way, so there's a bit of a story for you. Yeah, so he preempted something a long time ago.
How did you know that?
Word gets out very quickly.
Mark, just a few days away from season starting proper, how satisfied are you with where this side sits ahead of the A-League opener?
Yeah, satisfied. You know, like I said, I said that a couple of weeks ago. You know, even with the 16 players, I was happy with what I had. I mean, it's always a bonus and it's good for competition in the team. You know, you can have your judgments on after round one. It won't faze me because we're not the finished deal, not by any means. We've got a way to go until we get there. But like I said, round one we're ready. We are ready to rock and roll. The players have put in a fantastic training performance this morning, yesterday as well. They're sharp, they're fit, they're understanding the game plan as well. We'll go through a couple of technical things as well. We understand what Newcastle's all about. It's great because we play the grand finalists at home, so we're really looking forward to it. You can just see how eager they are to get out there. The togetherness and the team spirit is fantastic.
Do you have a starting 11 in mind, Mark? Are you still making your mind up?
It's there. I'm not saying it though, but it's not got way left. Yeah.
Which part of the fields are maybe the most competitive for you to sort of select from?
Probably the midfield striking area. You know, I mean, there's competition for places everywhere, but you know, I'd say those two components, those two areas, you know, are still competing. You can see the boys out there, the guys who are coming back from slight injuries. Mitch Nichols and Michael Kopczynski are fighting for positions as well, and the guys that are there now, Mundy and Rufo, don't want to let go of what they've got right now, and that's what I keep talking about. You know, if you've got the position right now, make sure you don't let go of it. Okay? It's quite clear that there's strong competition for places everywhere. I made it clear that names don't bother me, the age doesn't bother me, history doesn't bother me either. It's purely about performance, and whether you're Callan, who's just come in, or Reuben for that matter as well, if they put a performance in, you know, they hold their position. It's as simple as that.
And Reuben, you mentioned you've got a business back in Australia, so what are you doing with that, putting it up?
I was actually doing emails before. Now the workload seriously reduces, so this is my primary focus.
So can we just check, is there anybody out of contention with injuries in terms of those carrying niggles for the first game?
Clean bill of health. It's like I said, I want to concentrate on these guys here because they're here as well, and we've got another chance to talk later on in the week. But you know, with Reuben's he's made a huge sacrifice, huge, and he knew what the offer was coming into this, and without a shadow of a doubt, when I offered him the contract, he was on board. He was, you know, he didn't take him long to answer the question when I asked him, do you want to be part of this football club and this football family? And knowing exactly where he came from as well, and you have to look at, you know, his journey in football, and I talk about life as well, and where life takes you, and stepping out of your comfort zone. He's done that. You know, he's left home. He thought that his dream was done. He was part of the famous Gold Coast youth side that took and won everything under Mike Mulvey as well. And then he saw that he thought the dream was over. So, but he still, you know, went down to Melbourne and, you know, formed a business, and smart enough to do that, and was looking for life, you know, beyond football, I guess. And all of a sudden, this call comes around, and you know, he's already talking analogies and running and getting over hills and stuff like that. I love the way he talks as well. So all that sort of stuff, you know, it's important. When I look at the character of a person, it's important. And I think I've said that a number of times already. Like young Callan has made big sacrifices as well. I think it buys into the person as well, and you know you've got someone that's ready when the going gets tough. So you know, both these guys have made huge sacrifices. Probably Reuben more because of his age, but certainly it's something that should be commended.
So can we explore one bigger picture situation, if you
Last
like?
one.
Just the changes at the FFA governance, which we don't know what's going to happen exactly yet, but seemingly perhaps positive for the Phoenix.
Very positive.
Is the news that sort of filtered down from that, has that been sort of a boost for you and maybe the players in terms of, you know, the future of the club?
Yeah, no, look, I made it quite clear that it's not an area or a topic that I wanted to make mention, you know, at the football club. With my players or with my staff, it was business as usual, get on with it. You know, it was something that was sort of floating around in the background, but I made sure that it was never something that was going to be mentioned or talked about. So when the news came and filtered through, albeit very positive news for our football club, again, I decided not to make mention of it. Players know, staff know, people in the office know as well. You don't have to say anything to see a bit of a spring in their step the next day. But it's always good for a coach when you see that there's light at the end of the tunnel, particularly for our football club.